Hello, my name is Zorana Sirik from the Neil Squire Society, and this presentation is on Introduction to Ergonomics. The presentation will advance by itself. All you need to do is observe and listen. I will read and explain all the information as we go along. Definition. The definition of ergonomics comes from two separate Greek words. The first part, ergo, means to work. The second part, Naomi, means natural laws. As we put the word back together, ergonomics means to work by natural laws. What is ergonomics? Ergonomics is a discipline that involves arranging the work environment to fit the person in it. This can be applied to any setting, including work and home. When ergonomics is applied correctly to the work environment, visual and musculoskeletal discomfort and fatigue are significantly reduced. Repetitive stress injuries. Repetitive stress injuries are injuries that result from excessive and repeated physical stresses on the musculoskeletal system. The picture on the left-hand side shows a computer user repetitively typing away at the keyboard. Typing and mouse work can be considered as repetitive physical activities. Repetitive stress injuries. Repetitive stress injuries most commonly occur in the following parts: hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders, neck, and back. Topics. We will cover the following topics in this presentation: general ergonomic concepts, posture, monitor placement, keyboard placement, mouse placement, office tool placement, and leisure time. Please note that chair and seating options will be discussed in a separate presentation. General ergonomic concepts. Concept number 1. Change your posture throughout the day. The picture on the right-hand side of the slide shows an office worker continually moving in their chair. Concept number 2. Ensure adequate clearance under the desk. The picture on the bottom left of the slide shows a worker sitting in an office chair with their thighs rubbing against the hard edge of the desk. This is a posture we want to avoid. Ergonomic concepts continued. Concept number 3. Avoid office clutter. In the top left-hand side of the slide, there's a picture of an office worker hitting their head on a shelf. We want to avoid office clutter and ensure we have adequate clearance all around us to avoid injuries. Concept number 4. Light reflects off monitors, causing glare and eye fatigue. We want to avoid glare and sources of light that negatively influence our eyes. The picture in the bottom right of the slide shows an office worker working at their workstation. The dotted lines from the monitor, window, and the overhead light indicate the sources of glare. Ergonomic concepts continued. Concept number 5. Avoid reaching. Keep tools within a comfortable reach envelope. For office tasks, this includes your mouse and keyboard, pens, pencils, books, and documents. On the bottom right of this slide, there's an image of an office worker. The arrows in the image show the reach envelope. This is where items that are frequently used should be placed, within easy reach. Posture. As I go through the following points, you can assess your own posture to ensure you're sitting correctly. Your forearms should be held horizontal with elbows at right angles. Shoulders should be relaxed. Your wrists should be in a neutral or straight position without any extension or flexion at the wrist. Your backrest should be supporting your lower back, pelvis, and the natural curve of your spine. Your thighs should be resting horizontally with the feet fully supported by the floor or footrest. Common posture issues. Issue number 1. Sitting upright or forward. When we're focusing on a task, we tend to lean forward, perching on the edge of our seat. This is even more common for computer work, as we tend to lean forward to clearly see the monitor. Common posture issue number 2. Not changing your posture throughout the day. It's important to frequently change your posture to decrease fatigue and prevent static postures. This will allow some muscles to relax and recuperate from extended periods of repetitive activity. Workstation relationship. The image in the center of the slide shows a workstation setup. Please note there is no ideal setup, as everyone has different preferences, needs, and disabilities. Please note that chair and seating options will be discussed in a separate presentation. Monitor placement. As I go through the following points, you can assess your monitor to make sure it's appropriately set up for you. The monitor should be placed directly in front of you. Avoid placing your monitor at an angle. Your monitor should be approximately an arm's length away. You can take your arm, extend it straight ahead of you, and your fingertips should be close to the screen. If your hand is touching the screen, you can push the monitor slightly back. If there's quite a distance between your fingertips and the monitor placement, you can bring the monitor forward. The monitor should be placed such that the top line of text is at eye level. When you're sitting in your chair, your eyes should be hitting the top third of the monitor. You may need to adjust your monitor height by either lowering it down or raising it up. Do not use several colors at one time on your screen. If you do, use extreme contrasts such as blue and red, so your eyes won't tire as quickly. Avoid using yellow or green, as they cause a vibrating effect. Keyboard placement. As we go through the following points, check your keyboard to make sure it's appropriately placed for you. The keyboard should be placed at a height where wrists are straight when fingers are on the middle row of keys. The middle row of keys refers to the keys with the following letters: A, S, D, F, G, and so on. When typing, your hands should be floating on the keyboard like playing a piano. Avoid resting your wrists on hard surfaces while typing. The picture on the right-hand side shows a computer user with a keyboard appropriately set up so their shoulders are relaxed and their hands are floating on top of the keyboard. Typing. When typing, elbows should be held at 90 to 100-degree angles with shoulders relaxed. This is demonstrated in the image shown in the center of the slide. Notice that the green arrow on the forearm shows the horizontal position of the forearms. Armrests can provide support for the arms and relieve shoulder stresses in between typing and mouse activities. Mouse placement. The mouse should always be placed at the same height and right next to the keyboard. Often the mouse is placed on a different surface due to desk constraints. This encourages awkward postures and reaching, leading to repetitive stress injuries. This is a setup you want to avoid. Ensure that your mouse is placed right next to your keyboard. Tool placement. Arrange your phone, reference books, pens and documents that are used often in the primary work zone. This is the area within 12 inches of you and will minimize reaching. Items occasionally used should be placed in the secondary zone. This zone is shaded in red in the picture in the bottom left of the slide. Leisure time. Consider the types of activities pursued in leisure time and whether they add to the cumulative effects of work. Exercise and activities that loosen the shoulder and neck muscles reduce the effects of computer work. Activities such as knitting and playing computer games can add to neck and shoulder stiffness. This is something we want to avoid. This concludes our presentation on Introduction to Ergonomics. If you have any questions on this presentation, please do not hesitate to contact your assigned facilitator. Thank you for attending.